Happy Saturday, Connect family. Welcome back to another episode of the Connect Network TV. I'm your host, Thea Cheers, along with my fabulous co-host, darling, Sandy Glenn and Miss Wendy. Hi, ladies.
Hi, hi.
How are we? What's going on? What are the things? How are we doing?
Amazing.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. I love you ladies for free, I promise. So let's dive into our segment, Social Media Uncensored. So today we're delving into a pivotal topic in digital marketing. So it's micro, if you will, micro influencers versus macro influencers. So ladies, what are your thoughts on these roles in influencer marketing? It's a tongue twister, macro and micro. Let's identify the two and your thoughts on them.
So, okay, when I think of micro and macro influencers, I think of the macro, like your Kim Kardashians, like your athletes and your celebrities, like on a really wide, large scale. And then the micro influencers, I look at as the people that are in really niche specific markets. So maybe it's a mom influencer, maybe it's someone that's in tech, maybe it's somebody that's in beauty or fitness. It's really, really a micro audience. But what I have found is that when you have these more micro influencers, their audiences, they engage. They want to be part of the conversation. They keep up, and they also want to be a part of the community of the things that you're raving about because they know that they can trust you. It's not like a massive big brand or a massive celebrity that's just getting paid millions of dollars to endorse like a water bottle. They really, have their reputation on the line. So I think that it has really shifted in going from that celebrity endorsed macro influencer to people really trusting, knowing, and liking the micro influencers.
How are you dialing into these revenue generating opportunities, ladies, and setting your brand apart to be noticed? And what tips do you have for our Connect fam that they can tap into today? Because essentially both of you are kind of influencers as well in your own right, really.
I feel like this is more up Sandy's line of work. So Sandy?
So, all right. Well, what I'll say is, for me personally, I've worked with brands from the health industry, from diapers, my babies were in diapers, to hair products, across really all the different platforms. But what I'll say is I've never worked with a brand that isn't already in alignment with who I am and something that I would already use. I think that it's really, really important that as you build your audience, you got to let people know the things that you are standing behind. And if you don't believe in something, then don't get behind it. Like one of the things I always say about my platform is that it's about productivity. It's about high performance. It's about, maximizing the time in your day. If I had a liquor brand come to me and say, hey, we want to work with you, it probably wouldn't make the most sense because I don't really drink. I mean, I'll have a glass of champagne here and there, but like in my day-to-day life, that's just not in alignment with what I'm doing or how I live my life. So I think that it's really important that, as we talk about the tips for maybe some more of these micro influencers, find the products that are already in alignment with who you are and what you're doing, because your audience will sniff out very easily when you're being fake or not in alignment with those brands.
So Sandy, I want to ask you this, and Wendy, I want you to chime in as well as you would like. What tips do you have for micro influencers to just get on the map and really just be noticed? What tips do you have for them to just get noticed?
Yeah. Okay. So I have 2 tips for you guys. One is start making content with the brands that you're already loving, right? Like if you have a brand of clothing, if you have a beauty brand that you love, like just start making content around that. Maybe it's even like cooking tutorials, right? Because there's so many brands that are going to pay for that USG, that user generated content that's real and authentic. And you don't want to go to a brand and ask them for thousands of dollars before you know what you're doing. So just start slow, start small, work with the brands that you already know and love, and start creating that content, because then you can go to a brand and you can say, this is my portfolio. This is what I've done. Look what I'm doing. I would love to do this for you. And hopefully, there's a match. The second thing that I'll say is, and I found this out probably about a year ago, there is, and I wish I had a code for this, but I don't. But I'll tell you that there is a platform, just like you've heard, I don't know if you've heard of like Kelley Blue Book for cars. There is a company called Social Blue Book, and you can actually go and pay, I don't know, I forget how much I pay a month, but you go and they essentially give you all these brands that are looking for content creators, and it'll tell you really like how much your platform is worth, and what you can make throughout your content, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then you can go and pitch these small or large brands.
You know what? Shout out to my radio sister, Jeanette C from Y100. She just told me about that. So you're on to something, Sandy. She just did.
Well, I think she covered it all, Stitch. Sandy is the expert, definitely. And remember, there is no single approach to influencer marketing, micro or macro. But stay with us, because coming up, we will uncover the power of resilience and empowerment with Marni Goldman right here on the Connect Network TV. This is an episode you don't want to miss.
Hi, everyone. I'm Princess Sarah Culberson, and I'm committed to empowering women to really take on their dreams. You can learn more about me at I Am Princess Sarah on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and you are watching Connect Network TV.
Welcome back to the Connect Network TV. Today we have a very special guest with us, Marni Goldman. She's not only a mom, but also an empowerment and motivational coach, a trauma survivor, and an author. Marni, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for joining us. I love the pink. We're all matching today. I'm loving it. So
Never let anyone dull your sparkle.
I love it.
Oh, that's good. So Marni, let's delve into it. You're known for your motivational speaking with lived experience. Can you share with us how your personal journey really has shaped your approach to empowering others?
Most people can go to a doctor and they can tell you what to do. Maybe you should do this and suggestions. But me, who has lived through, I'll just say, trauma, abandonment, suicidal ideation, having the upbringing that is unimaginable, I am able to be empathetic with who I talk to and understand from their point of view. The situations may be different, but the emotions are still the same. So I relate.
Wow, Marni. And navigating adult diagnosis can be daunting. How have you managed to navigate these challenges while maintaining your positivity and motivation? Can you share more about your story with us?
Well, I didn't find out I had anything wrong with me until I was 47. So I just spent my whole life thinking I was crazy, lazy, stupid, when in fact I had ADHD, OCD, PTSD, CPSD, anxiety, general and social, all of these things. Now, did it change who I was? No, but the awareness. Oh, so now I know why I get triggered. Oh, now I know why I spend money for a dopamine rush. So being aware of what every condition somebody could have, I have, how to handle it. And the awareness makes me susceptible to things that are making me feel good or make me feel bad.
Can you talk about how this trauma spilled into your future relationship with your husband?
The relationships I had, whether it was friendships or with my husband, I never loved myself. How can you love yourself when your own mother didn't love you? Your own fathers didn't love you, aunts, uncles, cousins, nobody loved me. So my self-love, there was none. And that's where I preach to everybody. I beg you to love yourself, because when you don't, you allow people to treat you the way you feel about yourself, which is pretty much rock bottom's bottom. So what anybody ever did, it was fine, because I didn't love myself. And what you said to me, it wasn't to go F myself. So if you're a little kind to me, I took crumbs. I never allowed myself to just be handed the whole loaf of bread. And when you love yourself, you don't settle for anything. I look back at the things I allowed myself to go through, who I allowed myself to talk to, be with. But when you love yourself, those boundaries are up and you don't allow anything or anyone to manipulate or hurt you anymore.
Thank you for sharing that, Marni. And all of this brought you into a space of love and wholeness and courage rather. And now you help others. How were you able to get to that place of now really loving yourself?
I remember I was at a meeting at my son's school, and this woman was very rude to me. And she goes, we're not all as privileged as you are. And I was like, wait a second. I was in my bathroom in a fetal position crying for the past month. Is this how people judge me and view me? So I was judged. And I'm like, I have spent my whole life in this world of sadness and darkness that I want people to know, don't judge a book by its cover. I want people to know you never know what anyone's going through. I may be sparkly, but when you get past that, there's a who had to go through 100 million things in this world to survive. I decided that I was not going to allow my broken to define me. I looked at it like I am a disco ball. I fell apart in a million pieces, and I didn't come this far to come this far. I always just wanted peace and serenity in my life. And I could have made a left and gone the wrong way in life, but I made the right. And I said, there's too much joy inside of me. I'm a happy person. I cannot let myself stay at rock bottom. And I made one video on Facebook, January 2019, sharing what I go through. And that first person who said, me too, I go through that. I made another video. So the more I spoke about what I go through and the more response I got, it inspired me, helped me therapeutically, mentally, across the board.
Wow.
God
Marni,
bless you.
yeah.
Oh,
And
there's
you're
so much
such an
more.
inspiration. I would love to ask you, how are you motivating men and women today through your podcast, through the other maybe services that you offer, through your website?
I let people know, one, stay true to yourself. There's only one person you need to love, and that's you. I tell people, stop comparing. On social media, it's fake book. You're taking someone's highlight reel. I could take a picture of myself right now. Boom, I'm fabulous. But then I can hang up with you guys and go back in my corner to cry. So I tell people, do not compare, because you're losing out on your moment. Life's not a dress rehearsal. We're living it. So if I'm going to sit there going, oh, Stitches has this and that, how am I going to enjoy this moment? So I tell people, don't compare, because you don't know what you're looking at. The only competition you have is with yourself. And because social media, everybody looks and feels so bad about their lives, I say, find the joy within your life. I love what I'm doing right now. Nothing brings me greater joy than this. And it keeps me going and keeps me positive. And when you love that one spark of joy and laugh, I tell people too to laugh. Find what you love and laugh, laugh, laugh. People are so easy to find the bad about themselves, but nobody wants to talk about the good. I don't get it.
Marni, thank you so much for sharing your insights and inspiring journey with us today. Your wisdom on healing and setting boundaries it's truly invaluable. And I know this is just the beginning. So share with us, what tips do you have for us and for our viewers that have been where you are and want to heal?
It's loving yourself. Loving yourself, stay in your own lane. You got the comparing is the worst thing we can do. And I know I just mentioned that. It's loving yourself, and know that there is no person, place, or thing that can make you feel good. I'm not going to buy this and now I'll feel like a whole person. If I marry this person, now I'll be fabulous. It all comes from within, that inner peace.
Cheers to you, Marni, and thank you for just really turning your, I guess you could say, tragic moments into triumph and helping others.
Yeah.
So for those who may want to, there you go.
No, you're so right. It's just, my mess became my message. And I love knowing that so many people hear my stories, whatever it is, and they're like, I can relate. Me too. And I just love helping these young girls that I needed.
Nice. And how can people connect with you and stay tapped in with you?
Well, my podcast is Fabulously Flawed on Spotify and all other podcast platforms. My website is Fabulously Flawed. It has 3 Ds, so flawed, so you don't forget, .com. And we have my Etsy store, which has 300 products, basically, of affirmations. That's what happened. I started to say one affirmation. Life may not be good, but there's something good in every day. So my one affirmation became hundreds, and now I have a store on Etsy. So it's Fabulously Flawed there too. So everything Fabulously Flawed, you can find.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marni. Keep shining bright and sparkling, girl.
I will.
Stay tuned, Connect Fam. Coming up, the keys to success and fulfillment with Jessica Cherry and Laura Ramos James. This is the Connect Network TV, where we bring you conversations that empower and inspire you. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Late at night, I walk alone and breathe. Your eyes staring.
I'm Kate McGuire, the founder of Converted Closet on Instagram. And if you like original clothes and would like to get the most out of your wardrobe, follow me for inspiration on Instagram and I'll show you how. You'll never look back. You're watching the Connect Network TV.
Say goodbye to signs of aging and inflammation caused by an imbalance in the trillions of microbes on your skin's microbiome surface. The Dermabiome Collection by Gleam Beauty is a groundbreaking blend of science and nature, designed to restore your skin's delicate ecosystem and soothe skin irritation, offering a one-of-a-kind solution not found elsewhere on the market. Gleam Beauty, changing lives, one face at a time.
Welcome back to the Connect Network TV. We are so excited for our next segment with Connect Network TV contributor Jessica Cherry and her monthly segment, She Will Empower. Today, she sits down with Laura Ramos James, the founder and owner of James Law. Recently, Laura launched the Law Moms, juggling motherhood, ambition, and personal fulfillment. Today, the two are breaking down how, even as a busy mama, you can juggle it all. What do you have for us today, Jess?
That's right, ladies. Yes, we can. So without further ado, please let me welcome you to the show, Laura.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, so lucky to have you. So how to do it all? That is the question so many moms have. So let's start with the balancing act. How do you manage to balance the demanding career of a lawyer with the responsibilities of motherhood and the creative pursuits of writing? How do you do it?
Well, I think I do it sometimes successfully and sometimes very poorly. It's inherent in wanting to paths that are at odds with each other. Sometimes it's 5 p.m. and I have to meet a deadline at work, and then at the same time I have to pick up my kid from daycare. So you just have to accept that failure is gonna be there, and have to be okay with that, because the rewards that come with that type of choice are really high as well. And relying a lot on my support network and community. My husband and I don't have any family nearby, so I get stuff sometimes. But those are things that I keep in mind.
Having a good support system is so good. I read your chapter right here. Loved it. Let's talk about the time where you were at your bachelorette party, though, and you took that work call. If that were to happen now, would you take it?
Yeah, so that was, I had just started my firm, and I had also never been married, so it was a first time for everything. And it ended up, the phone call you're talking about ended up becoming the biggest case still to this day that I've handled. And so, yeah, absolutely, I would take it. But, thankfully, the law firm has now grown to where we have a team that supports me and the other attorneys. So I'm not the person that handles the phone calls anymore, like the first initial phone calls all the time. But every here and again, there's turnover, somebody will leave, and then I'm the owner. So yes, I do still take some calls sometimes, and I would take that call again.
What personal sacrifices have you had to make to excel in your career while being an involved parent and a dedicated writer? And what advice would you have for women who want to excel in their career while juggling both responsibilities and dreams?
Yeah, as far as personal sacrifices, it's been everything from, I've lost relationships, just friendships that I'm not able to keep up with. Of course, I still have the friends that, months go by and then we call each other up and it's like we've been, we've never been apart. But I've also lost relationships with relatives. I haven't been able to keep up with hobbies at times. And, sometimes self-care is kind of, left in the background. And I mean, that's nothing to be proud of, but you can't talk about sacrifices without talking about, the incredible rewards that come with. So the advice that I would give is, if you're following your calling and your passion, then everything else will fall into place.
What are your aspirations for your career, your writing, and your personal life? And how do you envision finding and fulfilling your ultimate purpose?
Well, that is, I guess, a three-part question. As far as career goes, I aim to continue helping those people who are seriously injured, because even though I'm the founder and owner of the law firm, I'm still an attorney and I'm still handling the severe cases that we get. Some of those cases have been recently in the news, and I really want to bring awareness to the type of help that injury lawyers can provide to the community. Of course, there's derogatory ways of thinking of injury lawyers as, ambulance chasers and things like that, when in reality, a lot of injury law has helped to develop things like seatbelts and, security caps for medicine bottles and things like that. So I kind of would like to keep bringing awareness to what, people in my profession do for injured people. As far as writing, the Law Moms book, thankfully has, it has gotten all kinds of attention to this topic of, not just law moms, but working moms and the unique challenges that we face. I think it can help bring compassion and help people kind of walk in our shoes in a way and understand that, yes, I know that dads also have their challenges, and people who don't have kids have their challenges. We all have challenges, but what is it like? I mean, what kind of challenges do law moms face? And how do they overcome them? And so those, I think I like to keep supporting the book. There's been some articles and podcasts and things like that. So that's as far as writing. I don't know that I'm going to be writing another chapter anytime soon. But I will continue to support the book. And then personal life, I just want to keep finding ways to be present with my family. I mean, as you know, the world is just vying for anyone's attention, and whether it's work or social media or just anything. So I just want to keep finding ways to to make the most of the time that I have with my kids.
I agree there. This has been so insightful, Laura. How can our viewers keep up with you and continue this conversation, or even get some legal support?
Yeah, so our law firm, is very easily found. We are on all social media platforms. So if they just go on Google and type up Ramos James, they can find us, or, on Instagram or on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. And so just typing up our law firm name should lead them our way.
Awesome. And keep up with me at Life of a Cherry Wife and She Will Empower. And I will see you next month as we explore deeper conversations on She Will Empower.
Hey, beautiful people, it's Major Mr. This is why I love you. And you are watching the Connect Network TV.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fern Malice. I was the creator of New York Fashion Week, and now I have a consulting business. And I'm also the author of Fashion Icons by Fern Malice. And I have books 1 and 2, which are fabulous, full of great interviews. You can buy the book set at Nordstrom, or buy the books independently at Amazon or other great booksellers. You can follow me on Instagram and find out more about my events and everything I'm doing. It's at Fern Malice. And I'm happy to be here on the Connect Network TV.
Welcome back, Connect family. Wow, we've got to give it up to our monthly contributor, Jessica Terry, with her segment, She Will Empower. Let us know at home, how are you juggling it all this season? Thank you to Marni as well. Tap into our social media and connect with us to share more at the Connect Network TV on IG.
And remember, you can catch all our past episodes by binge watching them Netflix style on our website at theconnectonline.com. In the meantime, keep up with me on Instagram at Gone with the Wendy and Stitches and Sandy. Where can they find you?
Yes, thank you, Wendy. You can find me at STICHIZ Stitches on social media, and tap in weekdays and weekends, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat, iHeartRadio, and other stations. So stay tapped in.
And you can find me on all the platforms at Sandy Glant. That's Sandy with an I. Also, the Slay Your Day podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, and Slay Your Day official on IG.
I love it. Thank you so much, ladies. And of course, thank you to you, Connect fam, for allowing us to spend time with you in your home. Enjoy, engage, call somebody, tell them you love them while they can hear it and receive it. Love you for free. Don't forget the crowns.
You're watching the Connect Network TV on the CW.